อืมโอเคครับ สวัสดีครับ กลับมาเจอกันอีกครั้งกับ Blizzcon วันที่2นะครับ Deep Dive Panels ของ Diablo 4นะครับเวอร์ชันสตรีมจะช้าไปประมาณชั่วโมงเลยนะ เพราะฉะนั้นผมจะขออนุญาตปรับความเร็วเป็น 1.5 นะครับ เพื่อที่เราจะได้ไม่ช้ากว่ากำหนดมากมายนัก ขออภัยนะครับตื่นดึกตื่นสายกว่าที่ควรจะเป็นไปชั่วโมงหนึ่งนะฮะเวอร์ชันดูย้อนหลังไม่มีปัญหาอะไรอยู่แล้ว เพราะฉะนั้นเรามาเริ่มกันเลยครับ Blizzcon วันที่ 2 กับ Diablo 4 ครับ
Blizzcon 2023 would like to thank our partners. Omen, Game Life. Xbox, power your dreams. Mountain Dew Game Fuel Mystic Punch, redeem points for gaming rewards and exclusive items in Diablo 4. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 40 series and NVIDIA Reflex, the highest FPS and lowest latency on PC. Secret Lab, award-winning comfort engineered to support your every move. Experience the ultimate performance gaming seat. HyperX, we're all gamers.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Welcome to the Diablo 4 Campfire Chat.
โอเคครับ Diablo Campfire Chat ไลฟ์จาก Blizzcon เริ่มแล้วครับ หน้าเก่าหน้าใหม่นะฮะ น่าจะคุ้นเคยกับหลายๆคนกันอยู่ 1.5 ดูเร็วไปหน่อยนะ ดูงานเร่งนะครับ
Welcome to Blizzcon 2023.
Adam
Wow, this is
Fletcher
crazy.
นะครับ
This is awesome, seeing so many people. Very, very different than our streaming studio back in the office for sure. But thank you all for joining us on a very special version of Diablo's Campfire Chat. We kicked off this program as a live stream, as you all know.
อย่างที่เรารู้กันนะฮะ Campfire ปกติแล้วเป็นไลฟ์สตรีมที่ developer ของ D4 ทำนะครับแพนแนลนี้ก็เหมือนเป็น Campfire แบบสดครั้งแรก
So let's go right into it.
มาดูกัน
Hi, everybody.
คนแรกครับผม
This is Brent's first time up here.
ครั้งแรกที่เราเจอเขาผมก็ไม่รู้จักเหมือนกันว่าเขาเป็นใคร
It's for a very good reason. Don't worry.
Green
Break a
for-
little color
for-
tradition up here.
Green for Diablo.
Yeah. So my name is Brent Gibson. I'm an associate game director on
Brent
Diablo 4.
Gibson.
I was a part of the
Associate game director.
that came together with Team 3 a couple years ago to make Diablo 4, and I'm really excited to be up here today to talk a little bit about the expansion coming up.
Yes, the
จะมาพูดถึง expansion นะฮะ
Love you too.
Now, I know we have multiple teams, Brent,
Yes.
that are working on Diablo 4. So, and you yourself are going to be talking specifically about the expansion here today. So yeah, it's great to hear that, we have multiple groups working on the game for Diablo 4.
But we're all one big team, which is the exciting part.
Yeah, very, very big team. And of course, based off of community feedback and everything that we've heard, those groups are going to be working on seasons and upcoming items, and then of course the expansion that we have here. Next up, though, we actually have Tiffany, who's going to be talking here.
Actually,
Do we have? No, we do.
Oh, hey, I'm Tiffany.
นี่เราเจอมาหลายรอบแล้ว เมื่อวานเราก็เจอนี่ครับ
I was not pausing for applause. I'm just awkward. But this is my 14th Blizzcon. It's my 9th as an employee. I first attended as a part of the community in 2005. It's really special to be up here.
Production director
I've worked on the Diablo franchise for 12 years now, starting on Diablo 3 12 years ago, and then moving on to Diablo 4 for the past years. Brent and I actually unknowingly worked on the same game back in 2009, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Yeah, that game was awesome.
It's a big throwback.
So it's been such a thrill to work with him and a bunch of the others from the Albany office, again, on Diablo 4 for the past few years.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiffany. We have Kaylee Calder here. Kaylee is actually a familiar face in the Diablo side. You may have seen her in some of the videos for our seasons and everything. Kaylee?
Hi everybody, I'm Kaylee Calder and I am on the lead game producers on Diablo 4.
Lead
Like
game
Tiffany and
producer
a lot of our team, I have
น่าสนใจ
been
นะ
working on
ผมไม่ค่อยเห็น
Diablo
lead game
for
producer ของ
the
ค่ายไหน
past
เป็น
10
ผู้หญิ
years
ง
across both Diablo 3 and Diablo 4. This is my first time on stage at Blizzcon, so while I am so honored, thank you. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. I'm a little nervous, but it's so good to see everyone in person. And I'm really excited to talk to you all today about some changes coming to Season 2, some additions, and other future developments.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kaylee. And of course, we have Mr. Joe Shelley here, a very familiar face on all our Diablo 4
เกมดีเรคเตอร์หลักของเราครับโจเชอร์รี่หน้าตาดูยิ้มแย้มแจ่มใสขึ้นหลังจากไม่โดนด่าในซีซั่น 2
And thank all of you. I really want to thank all of you for being here and submitting questions. We're going to take questions at the end. And really,
โจเชอรี่ก็จะมาพูดถึงระบบใหม่ในซีซั่น 2 นะครับที่จะเกิดขึ้นเร็วๆนี้
this huge array of other attendees at our campfire. So it's incredible.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Joe. And of course, I am Adam Fletcher. I'm the Director of Community for Diablo. So weird with an audience. And I will be today's host and moderator. I want to thank you all again for taking the time to join us on this very special Diablo 4 campfire chat. And I do also want to give a huge call out to this amazing plush campfire that we did bring in for this.
ได้เข้าธีมเลยครับต้องมีแคมป์ไฟร์
there we go. First pun of the day. We're already good. We're doing well.
เหมือนเลย
But to kick off activities, I know the dev team, they do actually have
คุณคารุสุโจสวัสดีครับ
follow up regarding yesterday's announcements. So let me actually pass it off to the team. So, Brent.
Yeah, we're really excited to show the sneak peek for the next chapter of Hatred. We've been on pins and needles to share some of the information from the expansion for a very long time, and it's going to be taking us to a brand new place. And it's really cool because it's actually in contrast to that dark gothic setting that we're used to seeing in the main game. We're going to go to some place that has a bit of a different flavor. So for those of you who are new to the franchise,
setting มันก็จะเปลี่ยนไปนะ
but for some
เป็น
of you who have
jungle
been with us all along, we're going to go take a trip down memory lane and actually go to a place that's a little nostalgic. So with that being
อย่าง
said,
ที่บอกในคลิปเมื่อวานนะครับมันเป็นที่ที่อยู่ในเดียโบ 2 ถ้าใครเคยเล่นนะครับแอค 3
abdicated your choice to this child, and with every step she takes, I grow stronger. There will be no salvation in the light.
ซึ่งอย่างหนึ่งที่น่าสนใจก็คือถ้าใครเคยเล่น Diablo 2 นะครับแอค 3 ก็จะรู้ว่าเป็นแอคที่ Mephisto ออกมาเจอกับเราเป็นตัวแรกเราเจอ Prime Evil ในภาค 2 ครั้งแรกที่แอค 3 นะครับก็มีโอกาสสู้กับ Mephisto ซึ่งย้อนรอยเดิมเนาะกลับไปที่วิหารเดิมน่าสนใจมาก
There we have it. It's so cool to see on the big stage, you know, Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred coming in late 2024. I mean, Brent, what does an expansion mean for Diablo 4?
well, first off, I want to talk a little bit about breaking the color convention. You've been giving me
I've got green shoes
all sorts of grief over my green jacket. I like the green. Yeah, so
แล้วอย่างแรกเขาก็บอกก่อนนะว่าตัวที่ตัวเองใส่แจ็คเก็ตเขียวนะครับไม่รู้เรื่องนะครับแค่ให้มันเข้ากับธีมของ expansion เฉยๆ
for us, expansions are important because it's a great opportunity to take one big cohesive step forward. You know, when it comes to continuing our dark story, exploring the new region we're going to talk about today, or even new ways to play with new monsters in a new class, we want to make sure that all of these things go together in a really nice way. And I've been joking for a little bit about how this is kind of like making a really good burger, right? You want to make sure that you're pulling in all of the ingredients that you need so that when they all come together, and you take one big bite, all those flavors are working together. And so for us, that cohesiveness is really important.
So you say burger. There are a lot of variations of burgers. There's like single burgers or like maybe a double from In-N-Out or something like that.
I'm so hungry now.
You know, coming from Albany, In-N-Out, I'm down. That's great.
So what kind of burger is this?
That's a good question. You know, I guess I look at it as kind of like a bacon barbecue burger with all the classic ingredients, but with like jalapenos, right? Like throw something in that's a little bit spicy, a little bit different.
And a little bit green.
And a little bit green, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. So yeah, we want to make sure that we have all the nice traditional ingredients that speak directly to the core of our
นะ
audience.
กำลังอธิบายว่าซีซั่น expansion นี่
I know with Vessel of Hatred, a new expansion,
มีความหมายไงกับ Blizzard นะครับเขาบอกว่ามันเหมือนอาหารนะเหมือนเบอร์เกอร์นะครับที่ผสมส่วนผสมแปลกๆเข้าไปฮาลาปิโยผสมผักแปลกๆแต่กัดออกมาแล้วเหมือนเป็นเดียโบเหมือนเดิม
tends to do. She's been following the footsteps of a prophet of light, looking for a way
น่า
to
กลัวมาก
deal
นะครับ
with this
ข้างหลังคือเนเวลหรือเปล่านะครับอย่างที่บอกนะครับเนื้อเรื่องสปอยเลยก็ได้นะถ้าคุณดูพาร์ทนี้คุณก็น่าจะเล่นเรียโบ4จบแล้วหรือรู้เนื้อเรื่องแล้วนะครับ เมฟิสโตโดน trap อยู่ในร่างของเนเรลนะครับผู้หญิงแขนขาดนะครับซึ่งปกติแล้วเวลา Prime Evil trap อยู่ในร่างของคนเนี่ยนะก็มักจะจบไม่สวยนะแต่ว่าเนเรลต่างจากร่างสถิตคนอื่นๆของ Prime Evil ในภาคก่อนๆตรงที่เนเรลดูมีความรู้นะครับดูมีความรู้เมื่อก่อนเนี่ยมีแค่พลังอย่างเดียวตอนนี้เนี่ยไม่มีพลังนะกระจอกนะแต่มีความรู้มันจะจบต่างจากในเรื่องอื่นๆไหมต้องมารอดูกัน
and the prime evil that's trapped within. And she's a really fascinating character because she's a child, but she's been through a ton of trauma, so spoilers if you haven't played the main campaign of Diablo. But here she is directly challenging the influence of a prime evil, something the Haradrim have always famously failed at. So for players that might be jumping into Diablo 4 for the first time with a Vessel of Hatred, they'll have the choice to either play through the main campaign or jump directly into the new chapter. There will be a recap in the game, so you'll have full context to all the events of Sanctuary.
แน่นอนนะครับสำหรับใครที่เริ่มเล่น Diablo 4นะครับ Vessel of Hatred สิ่งที่คุณจะสามารถทำได้นะครับถ้าคุณซื้อเกมตอน expansion เลยมันก็จะแถมเกมหลักด้วยนะครับคุณก็จะสามารถเลือกได้ว่าคุณจะเล่นแคมเปญหลักอีกรอบนะครับหรือจะข้ามไปเล่นเนื้อเรื่องของ expansion เลยโดยที่จะมี recap สั้นๆตลอดเวลานะครับถ้าคุณข้ามเนื้อเรื่องหลักนะทำให้คุณไม่เรียกได้ว่าหลงจนเกินไปนะครับพอจะเข้าใจว่าเกิดอะไรขึ้นอย่างไรบ้างนะครับ
that played out in the main campaign, so don't worry, you won't miss out on anything if you want to just see what's happening with Neyrelle and explore those jungles. All right, I love this picture. He's real creepy. It looks like he's coming out of a mud bath of sorts. So this is Mephisto. Now, he is my favorite prime evil. I think he's just a badass. If you don't know who he is the Lord of Hatred, and he is the father of Lilith. So I believe that
นะครับนี่ก็เป็นรูปของ Mephisto
makes him
granddaddy of Mephisto.
Granddaddy of Sanctuary.
Grandfisto?
นะเป็นรูปของ Mephisto คร่าวๆนะครับ Prime Evil ตัวแรกถ้าใครไม่รู้ว่า Mephisto คือใครนะครับ Mephisto เนี่ยเป็น Lord of Hatred นะครับเป็นราชาของความเกลียดชังนะครับแล้วก็เป็นพ่อของ Lilith เหตุผลที่ expansion ต้องเป็นตัวนี้ก็เพราะว่าเนาะมันยังเกี่ยวเรื่องกับตัวของ Diablo 4 อยู่ก็คือเนื้อเรื่องที่เกี่ยวกับ Lilith นะครับ
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Sounds grouchy too.
So Mephisto did not intend to be trapped in the stone. Like I said, they're very bad at that. It tends to happen. So he's, as you heard in the trailer, every step of the way that Neyrelle is taking with him, he is pushing against her, constantly trying to unravel every single moment that they have together. In this next chapter in Vessel of Hatred, we're going to find out what is his fate with this stone and what's going to happen with Neyrelle.
Yeah, so with Vessel of Hatred, you know, we even saw it a little bit in the teaser. It seems like we're actually going to be, it's going to be taking us to a new place. I know you guys have actually mentioned Nahantu. Can you tell us a little bit more about Nahantu, Brett?
Yeah, so we're going to a whole new region called Nahantu. Now, for those of you guys who know the history of Sanctuary, you know that heading south actually means going to Torjan. When we started off with the expansion, we decided as a team to really think about how we're referencing cultures moving forward. And for those of you who may not know, the Torjan people are a real people. And they're an amazing culture. They have beautiful traditions. You should totally look it up. But for us as creatives, we want to make sure that we're always in a position where we're being inspired by, as opposed to lifting from. And so because of that, we decided to review some of our names and make some changes.
So how are we kind of doing this in game?
We've actually decided to fold it in creatively. So for those of the people who are outside of the region, you know, maybe you were from the dry steppes, you know this place as Torjan. But the people who are there know it as Nahantu. And so you're going to see that folded.
สำหรับสิ่งที่จะไปเกิดขึ้นใน expansion เนี่ยมันจะไปอยู่ใน region ที่ชื่อว่า Nahantu นะครับคนอาจจะไม่ค่อยคุ้นกับชื่อนี้นะครับเพราะว่าจริงๆแล้วในเกมหลักเนี่ยมันใช้ชื่ออื่นแต่ว่าอารมณ์ประมาณว่าคนนอกประเทศรู้จักเราว่าไทยแลนด์นะครับแต่ข้างในเราเรียกตัวเองว่าสยามถุยนะครับนั่นแหละนะมันจะเคารพculture ของที่นั่นนิดหนึ่งนะครับเอาเป็นว่านาฮันทูก็นาฮันทู
into the story in some really creative ways to give that name some power.
Awesome. I know we have a lot of cool art to actually show. Like here, right here, we're seeing kind of what looks to be like a river gate.
Yes, so everything starts here at the river gate. We look at Nahantu as a place that's been closed off from Sanctuary. It's been closed off from all the things that have been going on with Lilith over the last several moments of our story. And so you can imagine this monolithic statue where the doors have been closed for the last several decades, and now they're open. And we're going to see what happens with Neyrelle as she passes through these gates. If you look at this next image, we like to look at the jungle as this place that is a wild and dangerous place. We also love the idea that It's a living, breathing character of its own. It has its own personality. It expresses itself in different ways throughout the game. And so this concept is a really good example of where things from the outside may have come in, but the jungle's going to reclaim it, right? So you're going to see these branches pulling back some of the architecture that you would see through the region. But for the things that have been there all along, it's going to live symbiotically with, and so you can watch the river flow through the structures of the area as well.
You know what? This is actually one of my favorite concept pieces that we've made for the expansion so far, because even though it's an environmental scene, it really just shows the depth and scale of the jungle, which is not really like a place we've ever gone to before within Diablo 4 so far, and it really inspired the team as well when they saw it, just that feeling of like scale and age, I guess, is a good way to describe that.
The idea that these roots are so old that they stretch across the chasms in the area. You can see there's a very small character in the middle of that branch.
Very hard to see.
It, like, yeah, it creates.
ถ้ากล้องเดียโบ
it creates a
ซูม
sense
ออก
of
ได้อย่างงี้
scale
ก็น่าจะ
that
สนุก
allows
นะ
us to do a lot with the environment, right?
เสียดาย
So it's not just
เวลา
a
เล่น
place
จริง
in an
ซูม
area.
ออกไม่
These
ได้
trees are actually fixtures or structures of the place as well.
You know, we've seen a lot of environments, and I know there's a lot of also architecture here in the haunt too. So can you show us a little bit more about that as well?
Yeah, so this is a great image that starts to show how we wanted to integrate a lot of the natural features of the world in with the architecture. And so you can see how the river is flowing with and around this piece right here. All of this starts from a place called Kurast. So for those of you who've been with us for a while, Kurast is an iconic place that sits in the heart of the jungle. And it's not just a town, it's not just the capital, it's a sprawling city. So you can imagine a lot of these structural elements popping up all over the place, spreading across the entire jungle. And this is just one piece that shows the potential of that. If you take a look at this next one, I love it. This is one of my favorite concepts of the entire package. This is a perfect example on how we're folding in that living, breathing jungle into the architecture. I got to give a huge shout out to the team. The level of detail that we put into this is absolutely incredible. They pay attention to our environment
โอ้ยก็ตอนภาค 2 เยอะนะ
as one of our characters. So all the detail that we put into Lilith or Inarius is the same amount of detail as you would see in a piece like this. So big shout out to the team for what they can do.
Yeah.
So I know you shared a little bit about like Kurast, and you know it's a very recognizable place, like or in the Diablo history. Like, can you get into a little bit more detail for us of like some of these maybe recognizable places that we'll kind of come across?
Yeah, I love to talk about these next few concepts here. So I was a big player of Diablo 2 myself, so you may recognize some of these places. We keep talking about bringing you back somewhere nostalgic. So we're going to start with the dock towns. So you can visit.
อย่างแรกนะครับเราจะมาพูดถึงสถานที่ที่เราเคยเจอแล้วในภาค 2เนี่ยแล้วเราจะเจออีกครั้งในภาค 4เราจะมาลองเทียบกันดูว่ามันเปลี่ยนไปขนาดไหนนะครับอย่างแรกนะครับด็อกทาวน์นะครับเมืองที่เมชีฟนะครับจากเดียโบ2พาคุณล่องเรือไปนะครับไปโผล่ที่ด็อกทาวน์เดียโบ2 chapter 2แอค2นะครับไปโผล่ที่เดียโบ2แอค3นะครับด็อกทาวน์
the original Kurast docks from D2 in Act 3, and through time, it's changed. It's been 72 years since the event.
มันผ่านมา 12 ปี นะ
So I'm excited to jump in
หลังจากเนื้อเรื่องในภาค 2 มาถึงภาค 4 นะครับเพราะฉะนั้นจะมีความเปลี่ยนแปลงแน่นอน
And like Brent and Kaylee were saying earlier, a concept piece like this really gives me this incredible sense of scale.
นี่คือ Dog Town
I'm super excited to explore areas like that. We know that locations like this really set the tone for successfully delivering on that nostalgia and embracing that legacy of the Diablo universe. So the capital Kurast is something that we've always wanted to know more about. So this is a clip that's actually from the teaser that we've showed you a couple times now. And this is that incredible ziggurat with really, really creepy Grandpa Mephisto talking over it. So we've always wanted to know what's under the ziggurat. What's amazing about this is that for the dev team, this is one of the earliest sources of inspiration when we started working on the expansion. And so seeing it make all the way from original concept into the actual teaser that we showed this weekend is really exciting. So we've got one more really, really cool place to show you. So this is the temple city of Travancore, and it's where the Haradrim originally imprisoned Mephisto.
ประตูทางเข้าไปหาวิหารของเมฟิสโตนะครับ
I'm so excited to go in there and see what's happened in the last 72 years. Joe, what do you think?
I hope I don't get slowed by hostile blizzards again. But it's going to be really cool to dive under Travancore and sort of revisit that area. It's such a memorable area from B3.
Yeah, Travancore was super memorable. Act 3, everyone remembering as they're fighting the council there. So it's great that we can revisit that here in Vessel of Hatred. And of course, a big question I know that people have with Vessel of Hatred, does that mean a new class is coming? Brent, Do you have any more
มา
info?
พูดถึง new class กันบ้าง
I'm
นะครับ
sure a few of you have been on Reddit asking questions about the new class. It's the number one question we've been getting all week. When we started off, we were still making the main game. And I'm really proud of the fact that we delivered 5 classic classes, right? We got that great feeling of all of them spread around the campfire. It felt really, really good. And so when we're talking about the expansion, we had a decision to make. We're kind of at a crossroads of, do we do another classic, or do we do something new? And the team really thought about it hard, and we felt we have a responsibility to actually bring new things to Sanctuary.
แล้วคำถามแรกของ developer ตอนที่จะคิดเรื่องคลาสใหม่ก็คือจะเอาคลาสใหม่ที่เป็นคลาสที่เคยมีอยู่แล้วในเกมนะ classic classes หรือว่าจะเอาคลาสใหม่ที่ไม่เคยมีมาก่อนเลย
This game is really big. This world is very big. We need to continue to broaden it, and so we made the choice to go with something new.
So you're saying
ก็เลยตัดสินใจเป็นคลาสใหม่ที่ไม่เคยมีมาก่อน
environments, obviously. So does that for sure rules out something like the Witch Doctor?
Yes, that for sure rules
Yeah,
out.
it's absolutely a brand new class. It is not the Witch Doctor.
All right.
โอเคนี่ครับดัมเฟเชอร์บอกว่าแน่นอนนะครับคลาสใหม่ไม่เคยมีมาก่อน แล้วก็เห็นธีมจังเกิลแบบนี้คลาสใหม่คือ Witch Doctor หรือเปล่าเนี่ยปรากฏว่าไม่ได้ชื่อ Witch Doctor นะ
We've been hearing a lot of like, it might still be the Witch Doctor. I'm pretty sure we said new class. So awesome. That was great that we got to see kind of like and get a little bit more information about Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. Again, Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred is coming out in late 2024. We'll actually have more news next summer about Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. Green. Great.
Going green.
I'm glad you're color coordinated for this, Brent. So, but we do want to talk more about some of the other items that we talked about in the opening ceremony yesterday. And so, Joe, I know, wants to talk a little bit about season 2 and what's coming forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
ข้ามไปเลยนะครับบอกแค่ว่าคลาสใหม่ไม่ใช่ Witch Doctor แค่นั้นนะครับโอเคมาพูดถึงคอนเทนต์ใหม่ใน Season of Blood บ้างครับ
we've had, as I said here earlier when I welcomed all of you, we've had so much community feedback, and it's been incredible for us to be able to release season 2 and bring a lot of those changes to you. And I think we have a roadmap here. You can see here that on the Season of Blood, some of the things that
มาดูรายละเอียดแพทชกันนะครับน่าสนใจแพท 1.2.2 เข้าวันที่ 7 นี้นะครับMalignant Rings นะแหวน Malignant 5 วงคลาสละวงนะครับแล้วก็เข้ามากับแพท 1.2.3 นะครับวันที่ 5 ธันวานะฮะ Enchanting Window แบบใหม่นะครับก็คือระบบ Re-Stat แบบใหม่ที่จะให้รายละเอียดมากขึ้นแล้วก็อีเวนท์ที่ชื่อว่า Aperture of Seer นะครับซึ่ง Aperture of Seer เนี่ยจะเป็นอีเวนต์ End Game สุดๆนะเดี๋ยวเราจะมาดูรายละเอียดกันในนี้นะผมแอบส่องมานิดนึงละเราจะเห็นรายละเอียดของ Aperture of Seer กันเลย
we brought with Season of Blood. If you haven't
เดี๋ยวแล้วซีซั่น3นะครับใครอ่านภาษาในSanctuary ออกนะครับก็เปิดชื่อออกมาแล้วนะครับเห็นเป็นธีมละซีซั่น3อยู่ทางขวามือละ Season of นะครับไม่เหมือนเท่าไหร่นะคอนเทนต์ใหม่ก็จะเป็น Leaderboard นะครับ Weekly Challenge Dungeon นะครับ The Gauntlet แล้วก็ Hall of Ancients ชื่อ Hall of Ancients ผมคิดว่าน่าจะเป็นคอนเทนต์เวฟนะเรายืนตรงกลางมอนสเตอร์มันลุมเราแล้วก็ดูว่าเรายืนอยู่ได้กี่เวฟนานสุดแต่เอาเป็น 1.2.2 ก่อนนะครับ Class Specific Unique Ring นะครับ Malignant Ring
since launch or since season 1, you'll be able to check out the new boss ladder, leveling, 40% faster leveling, right? The changes, thank you. That was all me know. We have an incredibly talented team of system designers who care deeply about the player experience and the feeling of movement through the levels and being able to capture the objective of reaching level 100, right? And so that change was something that we thought was really important for season 2. But we also changed things like the way that item power scales, right? So that as you fight more difficult monsters, you can get more powerful loot, including some of those uber uniques from Duriel.
Yes.
And so many other quality of life changes. The mount, I think, is transformed. And that's not all we have in store for season 2. Like we were talking about in the opening ceremonies, we made some announcements, and we want to get into more detail about those here today. And a little bit of a sneak peek at, you can see here, season of, I'm going to say the orange text.
Yes, that's definitely a final name.
Yeah.
Final name. No, we're not quite ready to release the season name, but we have a sneak peek of one of the features coming with leaderboards and the gauntlet. So we're really excited to talk about those. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, so we're going to kick things off with some updates to Season 2 that are coming really, really soon. Literally, this coming Tuesday, November 7th, we are going to be adding new unique rings, which we're called the Malignant Rings. Developing Seasons is an opportunity for us to look for ways to bring things back that you are players
อย่างแรกนะน่าสนใจมากนะครับอย่างที่บอกว่ามาลิกนั้นเป็นซีซั่นที่ไม่ค่อยบาลานซ์เท่าไหร่นะครับแต่การที่เลือกมาลิกนั้น power เข้ามาใส่เป็น unique rings นะครับเป็นแหวนซึ่งจะล็อกไว้แล้วว่ามาลิกนั้นเหล่านั้นคืออะไรคลาสละ1 วงผมคิดว่าทีมงานน่าจะมีดุลยพินิจและวิจารณญาณมากพอที่จะเลือกพลังที่ไม่โกงแต่เป็นพลังที่ดีนะครับผมอยากรู้มากว่าแต่ละอันเป็นอะไรเดานะครับเดาดูอิดน่าจะเป็นอัลติดูดกดอัลติเมทแล้วดูดมอนเพราะผมชอบมากนะครับเนโครแมนเซอร์น่าจะเป็นใช้สกิลศพอัตโนมัติโลกน่าจะเป็นสกิลเคลือบอัตโนมัติบาบาเรียนไม่รู้นะครับส่วนซอร์เซอร์ไม่รู้เพื่ออะไรไปเนี่ย
really enjoyed and really engaged with. It doesn't mean that we'll bring things back from every season, but we will look for opportunities, especially when the community is letting us know how much they enjoyed it. And also, we also had a lot of fun with these. This also is an opportunity for us to kind of revisit those powers because these are coming not just on to the season, but also to the Eternal realm. So these powers
พลังพวกนี้นะครับอยู่ใน Eternal Realm ด้วยนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นเราจะมีโอกาสได้เล่นมันไปตลอดเลยนะครับ
powers you're about to see on these rings, we've tweaked them slightly so that they work with the other uniques in the game, but we feel they're really going to add something for each class and kind of continue on building their kit and that fantasy. You're going to be able to get these by defeating Varshan, so I hope everyone's been saving their materials. You do have a little
ตอบจากวาชานทุกวงนะครับ
bit of time to farm more if you didn't. So yeah, with that said, we're actually going to move to the next image and we're going to take a look at these. So I originally was going to
Written Band of Trickery นะครับ Rogue Only นะครับอ๋อ Decoy Tab ว่ะใช้สกิลแล้ววาง Decoy Tab แล้ว Decoy Tab จะถอนโอเคเป็นพลังที่ดีทอราชานะครับของ Sorcerer ทุกธาตุดาเมจที่คุณทำจะทำให้ดาเมจแรงเกิน4 วินะครับโอเค
talk to Brent about his rogue, but when we started doing this, he saw the barbarian ring and switched on me.
I'm sorry. I
Just
threw the
the
whole
worst.
thing.
But so for our rogues out there, for those of you
น่าสนใจมากในแหวนของซอนะแหวนโลกผมเฉยๆนะทุกคนที่ดูชแนลนี้ก็รู้ว่าผมไม่เล่นโลกนะครับnon fit damage นะครับเป็นมอดที่ดีนะ lucky hit มอดที่ดี resource gen มอดที่ดี cool down มอดที่ดีเสียดายไม่มี crit chance นะครับแต่ถ้ามี crit chance แทน non fit นี่ก็คือแหวน perfect แล้วนะ
excuse me, use your subterfuge skills. It's going to spawn a decoy, it's going to taunt enemies, and then it's going to explode for a really nice amount of damage. Think you're going to have a lot of fun. Adam, this is for you and the rest of the sorcerers out there.
Yes, Ball Lightning Crew. Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe this will, you'll try something a little different than just ball lightning. For the sorcerer, each unique element that you deal damage with is going to give you increased damage, and then dealing elemental damage again is just going to refresh that duration. So sling fireballs, lightning ball as well, and keep increasing that damage. We have 3 more classes to take a look at.
โอเคน่าสนใจของบาบาเลียนหลังจากใช้ฟิวรี่น้อยหน่วยนะครับการไล่โฮท่าครั้งต่อไปเดธโบลครั้งต่อไปอาพีวัลครั้งต่อไปจะการันตีคริติคอลโฮท่า 5,000 ล้านนะครับน่าจะมาแล้วล่ะนะโฮท่า 5,000 ล้านนะครับไม่ต้องมีควิดแชนส์อีกต่อไปบาบาเลียนไม่ต้องบิลควิดแชนส์ครั้งต่อไปบิลควิดดาเมจรัวๆนะครับสแปมปุ่งโอท่า 5,000 ล้านนะครับดูอิดอันติดูดผมแม่นไหมโคตรเทพผมแม่นมากนะครับเทพอะไรขนาดนี้วะเนี่ยอันติดูดนะครับส่วนเนโครใช้สกิลอัตโนมัติถ้ามีศพนั่นเนี่ยเลสสเกเลตันเฮ้ยมินเนี่ยนจะเล่นได้ซัมมอนสเกเลตันเองเฮ้ยคอร์ปส์เอ็กซ์โพชันคอร์ปส์เทนดิวโอ้ไงโคตรแม่นผมบอกแล้วช่องนี้มีความสามารถเรื่องความเดาคอนเทนต์
So next up now is
เดี๋ยวแหวนบวกแรงออคอร์ปสกิลถูกละที่เล่นคอร์ปส์เอ็กซ์โพชันอยู่นะครับถูกละไปเอาแหวนวงนี้มาใส่ทุกอย่างจบลัคกี้ฮิตแชน 13% โอ้โหแม็กเอเซนขยับนะครับมอดขยับแต่ไม่เป็นไรมีแม็กซ์ไลฟ์ด้วย
Barbarian. So for our barbarians out there, when you use, there you are, I knew you were out there somewhere. When you next cast
สรุปนะ แหวนที่น่าจะมี Impact กับเกมคือแหวน3คลาสนี่แหละนะครับบาบาเลียนดูอิดเนโคผมเชื่อว่าหลายๆบิลจะใช้โอ้ถ้า 5,000 ล้านจะเกิดขึ้นนะครับ
Hammer the Ancients, Upheaval, or Death Blow, it's guaranteed to be a crit, and that crit's going to deal bonus critical strike damage as well. Exactly, so hit them hard and hit them often, guys. And I definitely know there's a few druids out there, you guys who don't want to forget about you. Exactly.
Oh, druids got the loudest crowd
I
here.
know,
Yeah.
represent druids. So for druids, when you are casting your ultimate skill, it is going to draw enemies in and deal a huge amount of damage based on your willpower. It will do that when you cast your ultimate and then 5 seconds after. And then lastly, the Necromancer.
Necromancers, rise up! That's right.
There's actually 3 Necromancers up here because 3 of us are playing it this season. Total coincidence. So we all love this power, and we know everybody else loves this. So we are bringing back that walking near your corpses is going to automatically activate one of the following skills, which is Corpse Tendrils, Corpse Explosion, or Raise Skeleton. So yeah, that is that's going to be the Malignant Rings, and as we said, you're going to be able to
Minion น่าจะเล่นได้แล้วว่ะ
starting on November 7th. So
Minion
next
อัตโน
week,
มัติ
everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kaylee. And again, we're super excited about bringing in these malignant powers from
Yeah.
season 1. Thanks to community feedback and you guys actually wanting these powers back
Yeah.
in, we were able to get these in these new rings that will be coming out on Tuesday. And again, patch notes actually are going to be available on Diablo4.com for that patch immediately after this panel, so you guys can actually see what's in that update for players on Tuesday, which is awesome to see. So, but we do also have some more information to talk about.
Even more
Yes,
stuff.
we have some
So-
more events taking place in early December. Kaylee is going to jump right in.
I'll kick us off. Yeah, December 5th is our next update for season 2. And we've got some additional updates coming in, some quality of life things, and then something Joe is going to talk about. But I'm going to talk about some additional changes to the occultist. Chris mentioned this yesterday in opening ceremony. So for those of you who may not know, enchanting is what allows you to replace an affix on an item with another. And those that are familiar with it will notice when you go and visit from December 5th, there is a new view affix, possible affixes button. I can't remember it. Yeah, view possible affixes. And when you click on that, it's going to give you a list of the affixes that one could roll into. So that way you're not kind of just blindly guessing and hoping that the one you've picked is going to give you. We think this update, along with the gold changes.
นี่คือสิ่งที่จะเพิ่มขึ้นใน Occultist Update นะครับทุกครั้งที่คุณกด Restat นะครับมันจะโชว์ให้ดูเลยว่าโอกาสมอดต่างๆที่จะออกได้มีอะไรบ้างและมอดเหล่านั้นโรได้กี่เปอร์เซ็นต์นะครับหรือโรได้เท่าไหร่เนี่ยเพื่อให้คุณไม่สับสน
We have made is really going to help everybody optimize their builds and continue to have fun in the end game. We have also heard feedback about affixes and how some of them aren't serving you in the ways you want. We do have plans to talk about both changes to affixes
โดนลิขสิทธิ์ไหมเนี่ยตัวละครชื่อซาสึเกะ
and itemization in the future, but we're not quite ready to talk about it right now.
Yeah, that's right. This is a really important change, and itemization is one of the itemization and endgame are the 2 things that we're laser focused on right now. We're going to talk a little bit more about that right up here next with Avatar's Year.
Yeah, and you know, it's awesome to see these occultist changes because obviously community feedback has been, we've heard you guys like that, you know, blindly choosing different affixes has been very, very difficult, but with the changes with the cost plus this will be much better, and this update, of course, hitting on December 5th. But other feedback that we've heard a lot about, and Joe knows this.
เดี๋ยวนะผมเพิ่งเห็นชื่อสตรีมเลเซอร์ฟิมแปลว่าน่าจะมีคอนเสิร์ตเลเซอร์ฟิมให้ดูด้วยนะครับสุดยอดเลยตีฟราจาย
as well has been about endgame, and so I know you wanted to talk a little bit about a new kind of endgame feature that's coming in season 2. So Joe, yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah, so we want to add more endgame, and then we want to add some more endgame, and then
Some more?
we're going to add more endgame.
Yeah, we're going to add some more after
That's
that.
right,
Okay,
that's
okay,
right,
yeah.
And
ตัวเล่นมุกหน่อยนะครับเราจะ add content end game แล้วพอเพิ่มไปแล้วเราก็จะ add content end game แล้วพอมันเพิ่มไปแล้วเราก็จะ add content end game นะครับเพราะฉะนั้น Avatar of Seer นะครับ content end game ที่จะเข้ามาวันที่ 5 ธันวาคม
in particular, permanent or evergreen endgame features that extend the challenges and reward opportunities from
content end game ซึ่งจะ evergreen คงอยู่ตลอดและยากขึ้นเรื่อยๆสเกลตามพลังของคุณ
to 100 and after you've reached 100. And so Avatar of Seer is a 100 plus new thing that we're trying here. This is a seasonal endgame event. So it's temporary, and we're really interested in
ยังเป็นแพลนที่จะอยู่แค่ซีซั่น2อยู่แต่ถ้าเวิร์กก็จะเอาเข้าคอนะครับ
paying attention to how all of you run through it and your feedback on it to for the future of maybe we'll bring it back. We'll see how it goes. But you probably want to know more about it than just staring at this red portal, right? We have a chart that used to be on a napkin, but
It's very beautiful.
This is when you work with a bunch of designers, they like to make these little flow
มาดู flow chart กันครับของ Avatar of Seer นะครับอย่างแรกนะครับซ้ายบนนะครับผู้เล่น complete final season journey นะครับก็คือกดเล่นเกมอยู่กดตัว U นะครับแล้วก็ซ้ายบนนะครับกดดูมีเควสอะไรบ้างถ้าคุณทำเสร็จหมดแล้วคุณจะได้สูตรในการ craft blood force sigil นะครับเป็นกุญแจเหมือนกับ nightmare dungeon ของ tier 1 มาพอคุณได้ blood force sigil tier 1 ปุ๊บเราก็จะ craft มันนะครับแล้วก็ลง dungeon blood force sigil tier 1ซึ่งเวลาคุณลงก็จะมีโอกาสเกิดขึ้น3อย่างแรกคือคุณจะดรอป blood force sigil paragon glyph เป็นกลิฟใหม่ unique glyph ซึ่งสเกลพลังได้200เลเวลฟังไม่ผิดนะครับกลิฟปกติในเกมอัพได้21เลเวล paragon glyph ใหม่อัพได้200เลเวลนะครับอย่างที่2นะครับสิ่งที่อาจจะเกิดขึ้นเวลาคุณลงblood force sigil นะครับก็คือคุณอาจจะ unlock สูตรที่จะคราฟบัตร Force Sigil Tier 2อาจจะนะครับหรือนะฮะ Dungeon Drop Nightmare Upgrade Totem นะครับแล้วก็จะได้ EXP Glyph เยอะมากในกรณีที่ Glyph คุณยังไม่เต็มนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นก็จะเป็นอีกวิธีหนึ่งในการฟาร์มหลายคนบอกโอ้โหฟาร์ม Glyph ซีซั่นนี้ขึ้นยากมากครับเพราะเลเวลตัวละครขึ้นง่ายแต่ Glyph ลงหลายรอบไม่เต็มสักทีมาลงคอนเทนต์ใหม่ End Game Up Nightmare Dungeonเร็วกว่าปกตินะ
charts, and then they hand them to you on a napkin.
ให้เขาพูดดีกว่า
Make them
นะครับ
pretty
ผม
so
แย่ง
we
เขา
can
พูด
show
เยอะ
them
ละ
to people. So design
Yeah,
your flow charts.
paint for life. So you can see here how the flow of Avatar of Zero will work. After you complete the final step of the season journey, you'll be ready to face off against the Avatar. And this is a very, very difficult area. You're going to need to bring all of your skill, but also you're going to need to bring the very best builds. Not every build is going to be able to succeed in Avatar Zero.
ไม่ใช่ทุก
And that's
บิล
why it's positioned
ที่จะสามารถเล่นคอนเทนต์นี้ได้อันนี้ทางทีมงานบอกไปแล้วต้องเป็นบิลที่โกงพูดตรงๆต้องเป็นบิลที่โกงแล้วมาวัดกันว่าบิล3,000 ล้านจากฝั่งบาบาเลียนนะครับบิลบอลไลนิ่งไร้ขีดจำกัดของซอร์เซอร์บิลโลบซึ่งไม่ขอพูดถึงนะครับบิลดูอิดดูดหรือเนโครแมนเซอร์หมอกอมตะบิลไหนกันแน่ที่จะสามารถพังทลายกำแพงของ Blood Forge Sigil และเป็นบิลที่ end game ที่สุดในซีซั่นนี้ไปได้
Like after you've really defeated Echo of Lilith, you've defeated Duriel, you've got your Uber Uniques, and you're like, what's next? What's the next challenge, right? And the Avatar is meant to be that. So you're going to get a recipe for the first tier of Avatar Zero. When you complete that first tier, you're going to get a recipe for the next tier. And I want to state that there are 25 tiers of Avatar Zero. And that's fewer tiers than there are of Nightmare Dungeons. But each
สำหรับ Avatar of Seer นะครับจะมีทั้งหมด25 ระดับนะครับแน่นอนว่าระดับมันน้อยกว่า Nightmare Dungeon แต่ว่าการข้ามจาก Avatar of Seer เลเวล 1 ไปเลเวล 2 เนี่ยมันยากกว่าการข้ามจากเลเวล 60 ของ Nightmare ไปเลเวล 70 อันนี้บอกไว้ก่อนจะได้ไม่รู้สึกว่ามันง่าย
The Avatar is much more difficult than the tier before. This is not the same as Nightmare Dungeon 70 to 71. And you're also going to get a ton of Paragon Glyph XP. So I know some people have expressed that it can be hard to level up all your glyphs through Nightmare Dungeons.
นี่คือกลิฟยูนิคใหม่นะครับที่จะดรอปจาก Avatar of Seer นะครับตั้งแต่เลเวล 1 เป็นต้นไป Tears of Blood นะครับเอฟเฟกต์นะครับ Radius 4 นะครับทุก5 Core Stat นะครับสแตทอะไรก็ได้นะครับจะได้ดาเมจเพิ่มขึ้น 2% แบบคูณนะครับก็แปลว่าดาเมจเพิ่มขึ้นเยอะมากมากนะครับแล้วก็ได้โบนัสแลโนดทั้งหมดในระยะนะครับโบนัสเพิ่มขึ้น 10% ทุก10เลเวลอัพได้200เลเวลนะครับ
You're going to get so much from this event, and you're going to need it because you're going to want to level up this new unique glyph that you can get as a reward for completing the Avatar. This glyph, the Tears of Blood, is tied to the event and is also persists during the duration of the event. But it will be incredibly useful for increasing your character power so that you can take on those tougher tiers of the Avatar. You can see that it has a larger radius than other glyphs. It can grow even beyond that. It has multiplicative powers on it, and it can be leveled up to 200 times. So it is still a capped level, but it has a lot of progression in it.
Awesome. lots of stuff coming here. December 5th, we got the Occultist updates and Abattoir Zero, which is the end game that we just talked about that. And that will run through the end of Season 2. So players can expect, to be able to go through that starting on December 5th, which is great to hear. But we also have even more events in December that we do want to talk about. One that's a little bit more festive. We mentioned it yesterday. Kaylee, I know you want to talk a little bit about Midwinter Blight.
Yeah, so for everyone that doesn't live in California,
มาดู
it's
อีเวนต์
gonna be
คริสต์มาสกันบ้าง
darkening and colder. You might get snow and lots of rain.
Like where I'm from.
Yeah, where you're from, basically. You're going to need
12 ธันวาครับ
as
Midwinter
you
Blight
return to Fractured Peaks on December 12th, where the Midwinter Blight is taking place. As you return, you're going to find that it's been enveloped in a storm. It's freezing up.
มาสู้กับ
the locals,
Rudolph
it's eternally dark, and there are new horrors lurking, waiting to, make your lives and the inhabitants.
อีเวนต์ม่วง
So yeah,
ทั้ง
brought some ice scrapers with you, maybe.
Fracture Peak นะครับ
we got,
ทั้งทวีป
we're working on a special Diablo ice scraper. Reaching out to John Mueller to see if we could get that marketed.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So it's going to start in Kyovashad, and you're going to meet Gillian, a wandering bard, and he's here to try and bring some cheer and warmth, which you can see in the video as we go to that. And he is located in the Hibernal Square. And he's giving as well a warning of the storm and the terrors lurking within.
โอ้โห
And as you
นะ
can see,
เปลี่ยน
this
แม
is
ป
a
ด้วยไงล่ะ
classic Diablo holiday space, decorated mostly in skulls.
เกม
Which
เทพ
I find very festive on the team, personally. Yes, and at its center we have the Totem of Midwinter, which plays a part in the event itself, but I'm not going to spoil that, and we'll kind of go into that. So what's happening outside Kyovashad? You're going to head back out into Fractured Peaks, you're going to explore the zone, and you're going to encounter some sinister snowmen, or what demons consider snowmen, that we're calling frigid husks, which, yes, they're beautiful.
Yes, very beautiful.
มนุษย์หิมะปีศาจ
and I don't actually know
นี่
if,
มนุษย์หิมะปีศาจ
Rod Ferguson, our GM is here. He
ปรากฏว่าเผ่ามูนแคลนนะครับก็มีเทศกาลคริสต์มาสเหมือนกันนะแต่การสร้างมนุษย์หิมะของมูนแคลนก็จะน่ารักนิดนึง
Frosty the Goat Man is what he likes to
I
call the
thought you were meant to sing that.
Yeah,
No, we're not going to. Okay, no, we're nixing the singing. No singing. Okay.
มีเพลง
So
ที่
these
ล้อ
are the
นะครับ
things. I mentioned
Rudolph
demons,
the
so you're gonna
Reindeer
see
เป็น
some
Frosty the
familiar
Goat Man
faces, but they're under a new allegiance. These blight fiends have new tricks, new ways to terrorize and harass both you and the locals, and they're just generally causing mischief and terror under the orders of their leader, who is the red-cloaked horror. He lives in the darkest corners of
Rudolph the Reindeer เป็น
emerging
บอส
only
นะครับ
from the storm. And he is going to, be really, really mad at anyone disrupting his plans, and he's going to try and make you dead. I think he looks really jolly, personally. I'm a big fan.
Again, another Rod Ferguson
yes,
pun.
here we go.
And this one I will sing.
Oh,
I will.
okay.
Rudy the Red Cloak Terror.
Oh, God.
There we go. All right,
Oh.
just leaving now. We're
But
done.
he doesn't even have a nose.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I know. Rod has the worst puns. We know
Okay,
that. So.
all right. So what are you going to be doing? You're going to be heading out into Fractured Peaks. So we're going to bring up a video with some of the kind of gameplay a little bit here. You're going to encounter the Blight Fiends having a really jolly time.
They are
they
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Oh, it's the cutest little
Yeah, well, we're going to ruin their
เต้น
day.
รอบสโนว์แมน
Yeah,
ลวกแม่งเลย ลวกแม่งเลย
Murder, destroy those snowmen. And you're going to engage in a number of events that are unique to Midwinter Blight. Destroy, for
แต่ก็จะเปลี่ยนอีเวนต์บน Fracture Peak ให้เป็นธีม
And if
คริสต์มาส
disruptive
นะครับ
enough, you may end up summoning the red-cloaked horror himself, who's, as I
แล้วก็
said,
มีโอกาสสู้กับไอ้
very
บอส
annoyed
นี่
with you. And participating
อ๋อ
in
มี
these
สกิล
is
ใหม่
going to give you resources
คุ้นๆ
that
เหมือน
you
ส
can take
กิล
back to the Hibernal Square to progress
วาชา
the
นะ
event. And yeah.
And some rewards.
Right, the rewards, because what's a festive event without presents and gifts and, things in general. So we have a number of new cosmetic rewards that you'll be able to earn
Oh.
participating on the event itself. So these are
Cosmetic
selection of
ใหม่
weapons, and then we also have some really
ธีม
cool
คริสต์มาส
trophies. I really like the
Oh,
little
back
bells, and
trophy
there's some wreaths and lots of skulls because we do like that.
มา
We have a
ฟาร์ม
theme,
ของ
we're
กัน
gonna stick to it. So this starts on December 12th. Really hope everyone comes and slays with us.
There we
There you
go.
go. Got
A
one
Kaylee
in.
pun.
There we go. Yeah, did it. Yeah.
They
So
clap for it.
เขามี
Good.
การเล่นมุกนิดหน่อยนะครับ slay SLAY นะที่แปลว่าล่านะครับใช้คำว่า slay คล้องเสียงกับคำว่า slay ที่แปลว่าลดลากนะครับเพื่ออะไรวะผมต้องอธิบายทำไมวะ
that actually. But yeah, that's Midwinter Blight.
Awesome. It's great to hear more information about all these updates coming in. And Midwinter Blight's great because community feedback has been, we've heard a lot of people wanting more cosmetic options. And so now you have
สวัสดีคุณแคทเหมียวคุณเบนซ์ครับผม
some holly that you can actually
คุณเบนซ์
incorporate
777 ด้วยนะ
with
ธรรมดา
Midwinter
เลย
Blight. But all this information is going to be available
อันนี้เป็นเว็บ
again
พนัน
on
หรือเปล่า
the blog on Diablo4.com after the panel. And we're looking forward to getting all these updates in everyone's hands for Abattoir Zero, the Occultist updates, and of course Midwinter Blight. But moving on, we do have additional information to talk about Season of the Orange Text, as you called it.
That's right.
Season of the Orange
So,
Text
Joe,
นะครับ
can you
Season
tell us
3
a
นะค
little
รับ
bit more about what's coming there?
Yeah, so more endgame.
more
เอ็น
engagement.
เกมเข้ามาอีกในคอนเทนต์ของซีซั่น3
This is such a
Yeah,
cool piece.
theme
This is
season
relevant to
3.
the season, and I'm excited to find out what happens with this guy. But I want to talk a little bit about
เขาคือใคร
one
เขาคือ
part
ตัว
of
อะไร
one
ไม่มี
part
ใคร
of
รู้
season 3, and there will be many more parts of season 3. We're going to talk about these more in future campfire chats. But we wanted to talk a little bit about leaderboards, leaderboard-driven trials.
He wants it.
This guy wants it,
Okay,
and so we're going to make it.
Thanks, Guy.
We weren't going to make it, but
นะ3คอนเทนต์หลักๆที่จะเข้ามาในซีซั่น3นะครับ leaderboard นะครับก็คือตารางผู้นำนะครับแล้วก็ weekly challenge dungeon นะครับที่เรียกว่า the gauntlet นะครับซึ่งก็จะอยู่ใน leaderboard ด้วย แล้วก็ hall of ancients นะครับก็คือคอนเทนต์ใหม่ที่นะสัญญากันไว้
And so the way this is going to work is when Season 3 players reach World Tier 4, they're going to be able to compete in the Gauntlet, which is a fixed seed, non-linear dungeon where your mastery and your skill are going to be needed to achieve the highest scores. And those best scores are going to appear on the leaderboards.
จะเป็นอีเวนต์ weekly แบบใหม่นะครับซึ่งเวลาคุณจบอีเวนต์เนี่ยจบดันเจียนเนี่ยมันจะได้สกอร์เป็นแต้มออกมาแล้วแต้มที่เยอะที่สุดก็จะอยู่ในลีดเดอร์บอร์ดของสัปดาห์นั้น
Now, every time you enter the Gauntlet, it's going to be exactly the same. That means the monsters and their positions, the layouts, the affixes. And because it's non-linear, you have some choices about how you're going to progress through to maximize your score. And of course, if you're playing in a party, you can choose like which direction each party member is going to go, and you really have an opportunity to optimize it. Loot will drop at the end of the timer, so you don't have to worry about picking it up on the way. And as you're killing monsters and you're opening chests, you're going to get instead these pickups called proofs of might. They drop from all of this types of content, and you'll have a limited amount.
ในดันเจียนเหล่านี้นะครับของจะดรอปตอนจบดันเพราะฉะนั้นไม่ต้องกังวลนะ maximize damage maximize คะแนนของคุณได้เต็มที่นะครับแต่ของอย่างเดียวที่จะดรอปเวลาสู้กับมอนสเตอร์ระหว่างที่เวลายังไม่หมดจะเรียกว่า proof of might นะครับ
Of time to collect as many as possible to maximize your score. So at the beginning of each week, a new gauntlet is going to replace the current one, and the leaderboards will reset. Now, this is an image of the solo barbarian ladder. We can see
แน่นอนนะครับด้วยความที่เราเล่นเป็นปาร์ตี้ได้นะครับลีดเดอร์บอร์ดก็จะมีแบบโซโล่แบบปาร์ตี้นะครับให้คุณดูไปเลยว่าใครคือบาบาเลียนที่เก่งที่สุดในอาทิตย์นี้ใครคือปาร์ตี้ที่เก่งที่สุดในอาทิตย์นี้นะครับโอ้โหโซโล่บาบาเลียนแลดเดอร์สกอร์ 24,000 แรงเวอร์ตี้นะครับลีดเดอร์บอร์ดแรง641นะครับแรงวันสกอร์นะครับ 32,000นะเราห่างกันที่1อยู่อีก10,000 แต้มรางวัลที่คุณจะได้ก็จะเป็น4 กล่องนะฮะอ๋อไม่ธรรมดาแล้วก็จะมีข้างๆนะฮะฮาร์ดคอร์โซโล่นะครับซอฟต์คอร์โซโล่โอ้โหไม่ธรรมดา
here. I want to caution that it is in development content, so some things may change by the time we get to season 3. But we wanted to show off to really give all of you an idea, a visual idea of like how this is going to play out. And you can also see on this next image that we have a number of filters. So there.
นี่นะฮะ Seal of the Worthy ของ Barbarian นะครับ Solo Ladder Level ตัวละครเท่านี้นะฮะสกอร์เท่านี้นะทำเมื่อวันที่เท่านี้
There are solo leaderboards for each class, as well as party leaderboards that vary with party size, of course, hardcore leaderboards. And then when you look at the leaderboards, you'll be able to filter them globally or by platform. You can filter by your friends or your clan.
So I know I'm better than Brown.
ตี2 คนตี3 คนตี4 คนลีดเดอร์บอร์ดมีทุกแบบให้คุณเลือก
Yeah, I mean,
I'm right here. You don't have to talk to me. If you played Barb, you would be able to.
ooh.
Necros are better.
That's why we
all
have the
know
Barb leaderboard. So, I mentioned that these leaderboards will reset every week, but the very best players from each week's leaderboard are going to be recorded in the Hall of Ancients. This is a permanent leaderboard that will cement their legacy. And you don't just have to be the very top ranking.
ทุกอาทิตย์ลีก็จริงนะครับแต่คนที่จบแรงวันในแคตตากรีต่างๆจะโดนเซฟไว้ใน Hall of Ancient นะครับ
On the leaderboards to participate in the gauntlet. All World Tier 4 players will be able to take their shot at participating in the gauntlet and progressing to the leaderboard.
So that means you don't have to be level 100 to participate at all.
No, you don't. In fact, if you look at this wonderful UI that we have up here, you can see that as you're leveling up and competing in the gauntlet and getting higher and higher score,
แล้วก็จะมีเทียร์ของลีดเดอร์บอร์ด5 เทียร์ไม่เพลส Seal of Blood State Fast Iron View แล้วก็ Worthy นะ
jump into the leaderboard. And you can show these off on your character profile and game.
Awesome. Very cool.
แล้วก็โชว์ได้ใน character
And I know
profile ว่า
with-
คุณ
we look
เทียร์
forward
อะไร
to that coming in season 3 with all the information that we've been sharing here. Again, I'm just reminding everyone that you can end up checking all this out on the site afterwards. We'll have all the artwork up there, and of course, all the information that we provided even on the expansion stuff will end up being there. And I just want to remind everyone in the community that thanks to you guys and the feedback that we've actually gotten in for Diablo 4, we've been able to, we were able to get all these amazing changes in. So providing that feedback through our forums, through social media, through Reddit, wherever you post at, let us know. Even here at Blizzcon, it's a huge help for the whole entire team. So thank you guys again. Thank you Diablo community for making the game a better experience for everyone. I know we do have some time for Q&A as well. We did leave a question box out in Hall A, which is the Diablo Hall here at Blizzcon. And then of course we asked on social media for questions through our
มา
fans that could not.
ช่วงตอบคำถามครับ
But we grabbed the ones that seem to be pretty regular repeats specifically. So we'll kind of just jump right in on them. The first question, I think this one would be good for Kaylee. Will there be more intermediate progression dungeons and bosses between Tier 4 and Uber Lilith?
Yeah, so we had this question a bit.
มันจะมีบอสเพิ่มขึ้นมาดันเจียนเพิ่มขึ้นมาที่ระดับความยากกว่าดันเจียนปกติ แต่ไม่ยากเท่า Uber Lilith เพื่อทำให้คอนเทนต์มันปิดช่องว่างหน่อยหนึ่งไหมนะครับ
Short answer is yes. We've already
คำตอบ
started
คือ
doing this
แน่นอน
with the boss
นะครับ
ladder, Uber Duriel, and we're looking for even more opportunities with which to
เพราะตอนนี้แก๊ปมัน
give
ยังใหญ่ไป
everybody things to tackle as they're working their way towards Uber Lilith, as well as things for people to pursue once they defeat Uber Lilith. So yes, and as we develop those, we will share more information, probably in more campfire chats or on Diablo4.com.
Awesome, thank you, Kaylee. This one's an expansion question. So
Expansion
Brent, I will give this over to you.
question
Will there
นะครับ
be a season journey when expansion launches?
Yeah, we know we have a large community with
expansion จะมาพร้อมกับ season journey แบบอารมณ์แบบ season ไหมเนี่ย
players who like to play in a bunch of different styles. So when Vessel of Hatred launches, we're going to have stuff for Eternal players. We're going to have seasonal content. We're going to have people who want to continue to play vanilla, people who want to jump into the expansion. Basically, we're going to have something for everybody to have fun with.
ไม่ว่าจะเป็นผู้เล่น Eternal นะครับผู้เล่นที่เล่นแบบ season นะครับผู้เล่นที่ไม่ได้ซื้อ expansion จะมีคอนเทนต์ใหม่ให้เล่นทั้งหมดนะครับ
Cool, thank you, Brent. Tiffany, this one for you. Will we have a system to save and switch between builds? A very popular.
build switching นะครับกดปุ่มเดียวเปลี่ยน build เปลี่ยนของอัตโนมัติมีไหม
Very
question.
popular question.
So the reason Adam says this is a great question for me is because I ask Joe this all the time. It's something I'm also very, very passionate, myself and lots of the development team and lots of the community is very passionate about. So for those of you that play Diablo 3 are very familiar with the Armory. This is something that we brought to the game in patch 2.5. And so we've been talking about it for a very long time. There's so many different things, so many activities, like so much room for activities in Sanctuary, and so many different things to be doing, whether you're playing by yourself, playing with a group, PvP, et cetera, et cetera. There's Paragon board customization, there's build customization, there's outfit customization, what gear you're wearing. So we want to be able to have an easy way to switch between those so you can keep playing and keep, min-maxing all of your experiences while you're in the game. So we have nothing to announce in terms of when it's coming, but it's something that we're talking about all the time and hoping to bring to Diablo 4 as soon as we possibly can.
มีแน่นอนมีเมื่อไหร่ไม่รู้นะครับมีเร็วๆเราจะบอก
Awesome. I know it's a thing that a lot of people in the community have been asking for, and being able to switch between different builds and everything and have that saved. It's something that the team most definitely is working on. Next question we have is from someone who's actually attending here at Blizzcon and is actually a content creator. Was in our opening ceremony as well.
In the opening ceremony
was
reel.
from Don the Crown, and I think he actually made like a decision to come to Blizzcon like 24 hours before Blizzcon started.
So he could be here right now.
He could be here right
I just
now.
really wanted to ask this question.
Yes, exactly. But I will say this question also came from a lot of people. But Don the Crown asked, do you intend to add more sources of living steel to the game?
Oh, yeah.
living steel นะครับคือresource ที่ใช้เปิดบอสนะครับคำถามก็คือมีโอกาสที่จะเพิ่มดรอปพูให้ไปดรอปจากอย่างอื่นบ้างไหม
Training demon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah.
No, it's, that particular summoning material, we've certainly heard and experienced doing Helltides feels much more stingy than the other summoning materials. And so we want to make some improvements there. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So
ไม่ได้บอกว่าจะดรอปจากที่อื่นนะครับแต่ได้ยินมาแล้วว่าliving steel เนี่ยซึ่งดรอปจากเฮลไทเนี่ยมันดรอปน้อยกว่าอย่างอื่นมากๆนะครับก็จะพัฒนาตรงนี้นะครับให้มันดรอปมากขึ้นดรอปทีขึ้นหรือไปดรอปจากตรงอื่นด้วยก็ว่าไป
expect improvements coming down the pipe for that. And by the way, I just want to thank everyone for not putting your names in the box because I would have completely screwed up half the names in there, as I normally do. So I appreciate people who do not put their names on there. You're the best. Last thing I need to do is butcher that in front of like 5,000 people. Will the expansion feature a group finder or global chats? So
นะ expansion ที่จะมาปลายปีหน้าเนี่ยจะมี group finder ไหมคนเล่นคนเดียวนะจะได้มีปาร์ตี้ได้ง่ายๆนะครับหรือว่า global chat ที่พิมพ์แล้วเจอกันทั้งโลกนะ
social features, I know we've heard a lot of questions about. Brent?
Yeah. You know, social is a really big part of the game, and we see what everybody's doing with how they're leveraging trade chat to kind of work around some things. Our social team finds this incredibly important, right? Like, we got a lot of different ways to play the game, and we want to make sure that all of your communities can find each other and come together. And so we actually have to really get some tools in there to get to that point where everybody has a really smooth social experience. And so our goal is to make sure that we get as many of those tools in place before we actually get to the expansion.
Yeah, and I really want to make a special call out to, you know, we have an entire part of our team who are focused on social and the player experience, and they are so dedicated and so enthusiastic and are just amazing people to work with, and they're paying attention to the things that everybody's talking about and need and trying to figure out the best plan to get those kind of things to you in the best time frame.
Awesome. Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Kaylee. And then we have a kind of a last question here. This is from Knox, wherever you are here at Blizzcon. What are your plans? There we go.
There he is.
We found him. What are your plans for itemization moving forward?
ระบบไอเทม
Very
ให้มันลึกไปกว่านี้ มีแผนจะจัดการอะไรบ้างคราฟได้ไหมปรับปรุงได้ไหม
Do we have a panel after this, or? No, this is a very serious and important question, right? And while we're not ready to share all of the plans for itemization that we have going forward, the team is working on the problems that we see with itemization right now, right? I think I was watching, was that Carbot video, I think, recently. And
Shout out to Carbot. Love his
you get, the character gets 2 items, and they're trying to compare it, and pulls out his sort of monocle, and he's going through it. It's too difficult right now to compare items. It takes a lot of time, and we want to make that better. We also there are some affixes that are very conditional or have several layers of conditionality. Sometimes this gets, shorthand for this is a damage on Tuesdays, right? Like, yeah, really good on Tuesdays. A couple days from now, it'll be incredible. But we think that there are too many of those that have really complicated conditional effects, and it's really hard to bring those into builds, and it contributes, as Kaylee was saying earlier, to a feeling of having it be very difficult to customize your items in a way that lets you get exactly the affixes that you want on your build.
Get the field you're looking for, you know?
Exactly. So that's something that we want to review. We also know that when you are optimizing your gear, the goal of that is to have the effect be that you feel that power. So you are customizing your gear, and then you go out and you want to be able to visually tell immediately, like, yeah, this made a difference, right? And then, of course, we also want to add more ways to modify items and add on additional complexity to items, sort of through, it's often talked about in the context of crafting, right? Better ways to modify items in that way, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know I'm going to throw another question at you, though, because there has been a lot of talk about the amount of aspects that are within the game. And so, you know, do we have any plans on what we like for aspects specifically?
Yeah, so it's going to take us a little bit of
ระบบ
time
จัดการ
to get
aspect
this
เป็น
right.
ยังไงตอนนี้ aspect เริ่มเยอะ
Probably won't see it in season 3, but soon after that. But we want to get the aspect crystals out of your inventory and into the Codex of Power.
อย่างแรกนะครับน่าสนใจมาก aspect เวลาย่อยแล้วเขาจะพยายามจัดการให้มันไม่อยู่ในกระเป๋าเพื่อไม่ให้มันเต็มและจัดให้มันไปอยู่ใน Codex of Power แบบเดียวกับ aspect ที่มีดรอปจากดันเจียนเพื่อที่เราจะไม่ต้องเก็บไว้ในกระเป๋าอีกต่อไปเมื่อไหร่ไม่รู้
I think they agree with that. I think they quite like that.
I'm glad. We're starting work on it right now, so we'd have to go back. But no, the Codex of Power is really a great repository of all of the legendary powers, or it should be, we think. And there are lots of opportunities for upgrading it or bringing affixes that you found, and we just really want to make that better. Yeah.
Great. That's awesome to hear. I know a lot of people are excited to have an area where all their aspects are, as opposed to, you know, where we are right now with collecting everything with our aspects and having your inventory kind of running back to the stash and putting them all in there and everything. So there we have it for the Diablo 4 Campfire Chat. We do have a lot of awesome things coming down the road, and I do want to remind everyone that, you know, this Tuesday we have an update with 5 new Malignant rings that will be hitting the game. You can farm Barshan to earn those rings specifically,
get those rings.
and those rings are an eternal and seasonal, which is great to hear as well. And then of course on December 5th we have our Abattoir of Zier. Google Abattoir if you don't know what that is. I did.
It's a slaughterhouse.
It's a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Cultured Adam. And then we also have cultist updates hitting on December 5th. And of course December 12th we have our first holiday event hitting Diablo 4, which is Midwinter Blight, where players can actually end up earning
นะไทม์ไลน์หลักๆ3อย่างที่จะเกิดขึ้นนะครับวันที่7พฤศจิกายนนี้นะฮะแหวนมาลิกนั้นใหม่5วงนะครับจะเข้าสู่เกมทุกคลาสน่าเล่นหมดนะครับโดยเฉพาะ Barbarian Necro Druid นะครับวันที่5ธันวานะครับอีเวนต์ Avatar of Seer นะครับอีเวนต์ End Game ใหม่ที่จะเพิ่มกริฟยูนิคใหม่เข้ามาในเกมนะครับแล้วก็12ในอีเวนต์คริสต์มาสนะครับMid Month Bright อะไรประมาณ
ton of different new cosmetics. Dress your character up in some bells, some wreaths, holly, etc.
Get very festive.
Exactly, get very festive. And I did want to remind everyone that we do have a Diablo Blood drive that is currently running. If you go to diablobloodharvest.com, currently the community is at 73% to the goal. Once we hit 100%,
good job,
everyone gets some rewards. Good job.
Great cause as well.
It's for an awesome cause. We're aiming to have 666 quarts of blood
Of course.
donated.
มีอีเวนต์บริจาคเลือดนะครับจาก Diablo นะใครสนใจเข้าร่วมก็ไปดูเนี่ย
So of course, gotta stay with the theme. So make sure to check out the site for more information. Panelists,
We
do you
just
have any
wanted to
parting
say
words?
thank you for coming to BlizzCon and watching online. We love Diablo and we love you.
I can't wait to get back in front of everybody here and have more to talk about with the expansion in the future. So I look forward to seeing you all in Sanctuary.
I just want to thank all of our passionate players, and we listen to everything that you're saying, and it's been so awesome to reveal Season of Blood and be able to bring some of those changes back, and then to come here and to be able to tell you about all the things that are more things that are coming in Season of Blood and in future seasons and in Vessel of Hatred.
Yeah, Drew. I just want to say thank you everyone for making this an amazing experience to be up here. Also, hi Mum and Dad, surprise, yes, I'm on the panel. I didn't tell them. But I mostly want to call out our amazing team, who many of them are working here at BlizzCon, who you may have met down in Hall A, they're doing signing, and everyone who's actually still back at the office, or well, would be, it's the weekend, they're not working. But everyone across all the spaces that we have and across the team in general.
Awesome. And I just want to thank everyone here. Thank you guys, everyone here, everyone at home. We hope you guys have had a wonderful BlizzCon. We're so happy to have you here, and we hope you guys come see us while BlizzCon's still going on for the rest of the day. And we'll see you in the next Campfire Chat. We'll have more Campfire Chats this year. And have an amazing BlizzCon, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you in Sanctuary.
โอเคและนั่นก็เป็น BlizzCon Part Diablo 4 นะครับในวันที่เกี่ยวกับรายละเอียดของแพทช์เราไม่ได้รายละเอียดเกี่ยวกับ expansion เยอะมากนักแต่เราได้รายละเอียดเกี่ยวกับซีซั่น2แล้วก็ซีซั่น3เข้ามาเยอะพอสมควรยังไงฝากติดตามคอนเทนต์ต่างๆจากใน Channel ด้วยนะครับวันนี้นะชมมืดก็ลาไปก่อนดูรับชมเวอร์ชันย้อนหลังได้อย่างที่บอกนะวันนี้ลาไปก่อนครับสวัสดีครับ